Hello guys, welcome to this edition. In this episode guys, we would actually, as we said on the dashboard here, we will create a pipeline stage to build and push a Dockerized REST API that we have created locally onto the GitLab Private Registry. So the reason we're doing this, again, just for you guys to get the whole context, is so you can kind of see different ways you can build a Docker-based image or application within the GitLab pipeline. So our core goal is really to understand GitLab pipeline ins and outs, really. But in order to do that, we are having to use like real life or kind of similar applications to build these things and then just commit it, so you can kind of have like a live a practical example that you can just work with, really. So essentially this evening, it's not really going to be a big day. It's just what we're going to do is something similar to this. It's just going to be, again, we just create variables. We created some of this when we work when we did the one of React. We're just going to define a few variables we use, especially for the API one here as an example, and then we're going to go ahead and write this code. Essentially that's just what we are going to do. The other thing I wanted to tell you guys is if you look at this dashboard here as well, you would see that it still ties into our own goal again, or the overall goal, which is really the first one we've looked at was the React. Now we just look at this code, but what we do is that today would be pull this code into the runner and then like build this Docker image. So we're going to build, and then we're then going to push it to GitLab registry, which is a private registry. I mean, there's a different one that I was looking at, really. So there's a different one here which I can show you over here, which you can, this is just like a cut down version, which you can also like probably like this one I've just represented it with Jenkins. You can build something. I mean, over time we'll get through to all of this, but I'm not bringing this Jenkins scenario here because this is a GitLab pipeline series we are looking at. But even if you substitute this one with like GitLab here and then just build and push, so you can also push to something like Docker Hub registry as well. It doesn't really matter, but I just wanted to point this out actually. So let's dive in and see what we can get to this evening. So I just cancel all of this and just minimize. So let's begin. So here on a terminal, so what I'm going to do is to really, I'm just going to like clear my terminal. I'm just going to clear, and I'm just going to open up previous repository. Bearing in mind again, just one more time, that our aim is really to understand GitLab pipeline. It's not really about the app, but the app is actually helping us to actually understand that. So let's move on quickly. This is going to be easy. What we're going to do is to really, so the second stage is still going to be probably like under build. I mean, if you want, you can just build them in parallel, which is what I'm going to do really in a real life environment. I'll be building all my apps in parallel, really. So in that case, this stage here is fine. So what we're going to do is to replicate this. So just copy this and just paste it below here. When we do that, you can see this one is to build push to registry. The same name here, maybe we can say build, we can just say React or like UI, give it something different, and then here would be API build and push to registry, something like that, you know. So that's now different, but you can see now that this stage here corresponds to the same stage here, which means that the job would run in parallel. Okay, that's fine. So the next thing here would be just to echo this out. I really don't need this all these too many echoes here. I'll just take them out. I was just using them to explain things. So I just log in again to be ready to build you know, like get into this. So for here we need to change into directory into this tutorial service. So we just say tutorial service. So here, or you can just right click here and just do a rename and just copy, because sometimes typo is really a big deal, really. Just paste it here. So that's going to change into this directory, which is where we have our thing yesterday. So you remember this that we built, and then we manually did it locally, and today we're just going to see what is going to happen. So the first thing is again, we pull. This is just for efficiency, really. We try to see if there is anyone hanging around. We just, if it is there, we pull it. Otherwise, we just pass it through, so we can just so we can go through. And the next stage would be to build from cache, because if you had actually just pulled something, you will be building from cache, as we explained, and then it will just build this image, and then we just go ahead and tag it this. But when you look at this now, you see that this is web. So we're going to probably just create different convention here. So here, I mean, if you remember what I said, I did say that our previous one here, if you go to deploy and go to container registry, I did say that you can store a lot number of containers here. At this minute, it's just taking the name of the repo and then slash the UI we mentioned. So you can do another one to say slash maybe like API. In fact, let's do that. So here, I'm just going to create this, just do a copy. So give it a different name here. Maybe we just say API. And then here, I'll just rename this to say API. Maybe just something like this, or anything you really like. So what you're going to do is that you're going to replace these ones that are for API here, just this one, paste. There's one here, paste it here. There's one here, paste it here. And then there's one more here, and then one more here. There you go. So that's all we need to do. Let's look at this quickly again. Just go here, and then the first time we just log into the registry. So we would be able to have access to the registry, and then we change into the directory just to have access to the doc file here. If we change into here, we can then see the doc file, and then in that case our context would then be a dot here, so you can see. Once that is done, we just build. As we're building, we're tagging on the fly. So we tag with commissioner. I mean, you can tag with whatever you like. And then again, it's important to have the latest one as well, because that's the one you'll be pulling. As we did here, you'll be pulling and building the next one from. And then we push both. That's all really. And that's it really. What we're going to do now is to commit this code and push it to a Docker image, so a Docker repository, and see what is going to happen. So let's do git status, git add, and then git commit. So here I'll just say commit -m, and we'll just give it, so we say created an API stage in the pipeline. Maybe something simple as that really. And then now we're going to, let's check if I did yeah, there you go. So I'm just going to push this to origin main. So let's see, let's go to the upstream and see what is going to happen. So I'm going to go here. Okay, here, that's now that we're here now, I'm just going to go to I'm going to go to the build, go to pipeline, and see what is happening. So as you can see now, both are now running in parallel. You can see. So if you go to the UI one was also changed. This is changed, but we're interested now in the API one. Let's open it up and wait for it to finish. Okay, so this is finished now. So you can see, just literally, you can see that they're still running. So this is the API one is now complete. Just put it down, logged onto it as we said, and now it's going to build from cache. And then here it will just it wouldn't find anything, but instead of crashing out, it will just stay because of true, and then it will start to build fresh one from scratch. And then once it's done, it will just build it, and then it will begin to push things. So it will push with commission, then it push with the latest, and that's it. There you go. So that's once. And then if you go back, you can see that the UI one is still building, because that one takes time. But again, this is now optimization of the pipeline, because we're building in parallel. We cannot afford to have the other one finish building before the next one. So these are like independent things, that processes that you're running. They can just all work in parallel, and they are not conflicting with each other. So it's a concept as well in GitLab pipeline. But we've seen the example. So now let's go to this container registry and see if it's there. So we go to container registry. So you can see this is the API one. This is 1 minute ago. If you open them up, there should be two with two tags. One of the tags will be latest. The other one will, yeah, there it goes. This one is the latest, and the other one is with the commit share. The same, and you can see the image, what the size of the image is in the in this registry. Obviously, some registry actually compress the image as well. And then quickly before we disappear again, so we just go to this so you can kind of see again our overall picture here. So our overall picture here again is still sort of to like, we're building this, we're pushing it here, and eventually we get through to all of this, but our message would be centered on this GitLab. That is the core thing, but essentially you will see how we can take this through and then onto to deployment, and you can see how people can consume it. Thank you so much.